Let your body settle now. Your shoulders, they have been carrying something all day, a tension you stopped noticing hours ago. Let them drop, just a little lower. Your hands, where are they resting? The small warmth of the palms, you are not holding anything. Let the fingers go soft. Your jaw, you might be holding it tighter than you realize. Let it open just the smallest amount, just enough that the teeth are no longer touching. Your feet, still heavy. The blanket holds the warmth you have already made. It is yours. The blanket over all of you. Its weight is gentle. You are already here. There is nothing you need to solve right now. Nothing to plan, nothing to track, nothing to remember. Whatever did not get done today, it will keep. It will all be there tomorrow. Tonight there is only this. And as you breathe, something quieter begins to come in. You are on the shores of the Sognefjord. The year is 1893. The fjord stretches 205 kilometers inland from the sea, its walls dropping more than 1,000 meters below the surface. The longest, deepest fjord in Norway. The nearest town is hours away by boat. The people here live between the water and the mountain, as they have for as long as anyone has lived anywhere in this country. You have known this place your whole life. Tonight you will simply rest here. The stabbur stands on its stone posts at the edge of the farmyard. It is a small storehouse, raised off the ground on stone posts, each one capped with a flat disc of slate to keep the rats from climbing. The logs of the walls are dark with age, the roof sod-covered, thick with grass gone amber in the autumn cold. The whole structure rests above the earth as if it learned long ago not to trust it. Inside, dried fish in rows, a crock of salted butter, sacks of barley meal, flatbread stacked flat on a wooden shelf, rounds of thin, crisp bread made from oat and rye, baked hard enough to keep through a winter. The smell through the half-open door is cold and specific, wood smoke and salt and grain, old and clean at once. The farmyard is small. A main house, a barn, a woodpile that will not be finished before spring. The path between them is worn to bare stone, smooth from generations of boots walking the same few meters. The last light is going from the western ridgeline, one long band of pale orange, already cooling to gray. The birch trees on the lower slope have gone bare. Their white trunks catch what light remains, and for a moment the whole hillside seems to be lit from within. The fjord is very still at this hour. It is not the stillness of something empty. It is the stillness of something that has finished moving. The water is dark greenish black, the far wall of the fjord reflected in it without distortion. The reflection is so complete that you are not certain where the rock ends and the water begins. The walls of the fjord were cut by ice. A glacier moved down through this valley over tens of thousands of years, grinding, quarrying, carrying, hollowing out a U-shape so deep that the sea, when it came in, found a basin more than 1,000 meters to fill. The stone of the walls is ancient. gray and dark and streaked with pale lines where the quartz runs through. A single boat is moored below the farm, its rope tied to an iron ring in the dock stone. It moves almost imperceptibly, a small rocking, a response to something the water is doing far below. The oars are shipped. The boat is resting. There is nothing you need to solve right now. The fjord has been here since before the word for fjord existed. It will be here long after. The water carries the reflection of the first star. The reflection does not waver. The Nost sits at the water's edge, its feet almost in the fjord. It is a low wooden building, tar-blackened, the boards fitted close against the salt wind. The door faces the water. Inside, the smell of pine tar, old rope, the cold mineral smell of the fjord itself. A kerosene lantern hangs from a nail, its chimney smoky from last use. Against the far wall, nets in methodical folds, coiled lines, a pair of oars roughened at the grip from years of handhold, a wooden box of lead sinkers, each one worn smooth. The work of fishing is not dramatic. It is repetitive and patient, done before dawn, returned from by mid-morning, the catch cleaned and hung to dry before the cold deepens. The lantern light moves with the draft from the water. It touches the nets and loses interest. It finds the rope coils, the boat hull, the rough grain of the wall planks, and everything it touches looks like something that has been in exactly this position for a very long time. The fjord laps at the foundation stones, not hurrying. The sound is low and irregular, a slap, a pause, two closer together, then silence, then again. The path goes up behind the farm. It begins as a track of bare earth between the farmyard stones, then narrows into something older, a worn line through the heather and bilberry scrub, following the fall of the land the way water would. The ground is firm. The frost has been in it for a week. The lichens on the rocks beside the path are extraordinary. Gray-green, pale yellow, the deep russet of a type that grows where water drains slowly over stone. They are old lichens, grow a centimeter in a decade. The ones here have been on this rock since before anyone now living was born. You could put your hand against them. They would not notice. The moss lower down is still green, an almost implausibly bright green against gray stone and brown heather. When you step on it, the ground gives slightly and releases. Something that is not quite a sound. The mist from the fjord has come partway up the slope and softened everything above it into shapes without edges. There is nothing you need to solve right now. The path knows where it goes. It always has. Above the tree line, where the birch gives out to open ground, the summer pasture begins. The cedar. In summer, the women and older children brought cattle and goats up here and stayed for months, living in the small log shelter that still stands near the spring. The milk was turned to butter and cheese away from the valley, packed into birch bark containers, and carried back down in autumn. It is one of the oldest patterns in this country. The word cedar is in place names all across Norway. The shelter is closed for winter now, its door weighted with a stone. But the spring still flows, a thin thread of water from somewhere inside the mountain, coming between two rocks with a steadiness the season does not interrupt. The grass around it has stayed greener than anything else on the hillside. A cowbell from somewhere on the upper pasture edge came through this afternoon, hollow, light, moving slowly and then stopping. Just the one bell, then only the wind. The wind up here is different from the wind below. It comes from the north, off something older than the fjord. The table in the loft is set near the hearth. The fire is birch wood, the clearest burning of what grows here. The flame high and bright with very little smoke when the wood is dry. It smells like nothing complicated, just wood and warmth. The ramigrat is in the iron pot on the hearth ledge, still warm. It is a thick porridge made from sour cream, ram, simmered until the butterfat separates, then stirred with wheat flour into something between a porridge and a pudding. A festive dish, eaten at the cedar in summer or when someone returns from a long journey. It sits in the bowl with drawn butter pooled on top, cinnamon and sugar on that. Simple and almost impossibly good. Beside it, flat-broad, thin rounds of crisp bread rolled from oat and rye flour, baked until they blister and go dry. They keep for months. They snap when you break them. The sound is small and clean. No one talks much at this meal, not because anything is wrong. It is evening, and they are tired, and the fire is saying more than enough. Sometime after the meal, the sky changes. It begins at the north, above the far wall of the fjord, a pale greenish band, barely more than a brightening of the dark. Then it moves. Not fast. More like something deciding to stand up, slowly widening, brightening, lifting from the horizon into a curtain. A flowing thing that does not have edges so much as suggestions of edges that shift before you can fix them. The Nordlies, the northern light, it has no sound. That is what most people do not expect, how completely silent it is. The light moves with the quality of something that has no weight, no friction. The reflection in the fjord below mirrors it, the green rippling across the black water, folding slightly at the shore. The birch trees on the hillside go green, then dark, then green again as the light shifts. You are very cold. You are not moving. The cold does not matter. There is nothing you need to solve right now. The aurora does not need anything from you. It has been crossing this sky since long before there was anyone on this shore to watch it. In summer, this place never fully darkens. It is autumn now, and the nights are real again, but the memory of the long light is still in the land somehow. The way the gray at the north horizon never quite closes. The way the sky before dawn goes pale in a way that is not quite night, not quite morning. By high summer on the Sognefjord, The sun barely dips below the ridge. For weeks, the light is continuous, an endless amber that turns the fjord's surface to copper at midnight. That changes how time feels in the body. The people here learned long ago to sleep when the body asked, not when the sky said to. Now in autumn, the dark is back. But still, past midnight, at the very north of the sky, a paleness, a suggestion, as if the darkness cannot quite commit. The fjord holds the barest reflection of it. The water is almost black, but not entirely. The first frost is on the planks of the dock. The birch wood in the hearth has burned down to coals. Somewhere above the upper ridge, the wind moves through a gap in the rock and makes a low, continuous sound that arrives here already softened by distance. The farm is quiet now. The fjord has gone completely still. Even the small rocking of the boat has stopped, the water flat and dark, the reflection of the far walls so precise you could mistake it for a second mountain. The aurora has faded. The stars are very clear. The cold is clean. The stabbur stands on its stone posts in the dark. The cedar shelter is closed and waiting. The nost at the waterline holds its nets and its lantern, patient as things that have always been patient. There is nothing you need to solve right now. Nothing to plan, nothing to decide. The fjord runs to the sea without asking. The glacier that made this valley did its slow work and moved on. The stone walls have been standing since before the word for standing was invented. Your body is heavy. The warmth beneath you is yours. There is nothing more to do. The Nordleys may come again before morning, or it may not. It does not consult anyone. The frost will deepen. The fjord will hold its reflection of the stars. The water along the shore makes its small sound. The rocks hold their cold. The birch forest stands bare and white and still. The fjord holds everything. The night holds the fjord.